American people, all the people. I am Lady Dre Renee. This is Freddie B, and you are watching The Token and the Truth. Thank you so much for joining us. We're excited to be here on this lovely Tuesday. Freddie, how you doing? I know you were traveling today.
Yeah, just landed. Shemaine, man, Freddie B, we right here. Gotta make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah.
Make sure you throw that out there. Make sure we get the likes up, we get the comments, we get the shares, and subscribe, man. Make sure y'all support Black businesses.
And we got all the things, guys. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. We have our YouTube going. We're still working a couple of things, but it's up. So make sure you subscribe and do all the things that we need you to do so people can see all of these wonderful things we're saying.
Exactly. If you guys want to come on, if y'all want to cam up, we talking about a lot of things.
Freddie loves that.
If you want to get your voice heard, feel free. This is an open forum. We definitely want to hear different perspectives to add into it because, like, on a daily basis, I'm always crushing Drea. And so if you want to help her out.
Freddie, don't start. Please don't start. We just got started. We just opened the room and you already want to go. You're always pushing Drea. Anyway.
So guys, yeah, I just got in. I just got in for Toronto. I know people probably, if you're in the know, then you're probably wondering like, oh, why'd you leave Toronto already? It's Carabana. Because I was planning to go for that, but my guy, Smith Photography, is his birthday, and he wanted to go this weekend. That's the only way he can get off. It's his birthday, so I deferred to him because I am a great human being at the end of the day, and I want to take care of all the people around. God.
And guys, let me tell you, Freddie lived it up in Toronto. If you saw his Instagram or his Facebook or whatever he loves to post on, which is a thing, you saw that Freddie was living his best life this week.
Hey, I got to, man. I got to. Anybody me, I'm a live it up, and if you with me, you gonna live it up too. It's just a part of the deal, man. But let's get into it, man. We got the relationship speak. We're gonna talk about relationship stuff, but we would be remiss if we didn't talk about Lizzo. I've mentioned her in a few other podcasts, few other episodes previously. So if you're avid watcher, I've talked about Lizzo. Today the news just came out. Allegedly, Lizzo's being sued by 3 former tour dancers for sexual harassment, creating hostile work environment, and basically fat shaming her dancer. Lizzo is accused of fat shaming. Let that sink in for a minute. Take your time, guys.
Listen, this, I gotta say, when I saw this headline today, the alleged headline that Lizzo did these alleged things, I was kind of shocked. I was very shocked. And I thought, because sometimes what happens is things will happen in people's camps, and then whoever is the head of this company or whatever it may be, such as Lizzo, then her name just gets thrown in the press, or maybe something other people did. But then I spoke with Freddie before we started our podcast today, and apparently, allegedly, it was actually Lizzo doing these things. Is that what we're hearing? We're gonna pull up the article. This is wild, you guys, because we're in such an interesting time now where fat shaming has been a huge topic of conversation in the past, I don't know, 5 years. Would you say, Freddie? It's a thing now. Like, you don't do that. You don't do that.
Yeah. It's like
and like, and Lizzo has been at the forefront of that.
And the thing is with this whole shaming thing, like, people call everything shaming. Like, if you say, you talk about something somebody doing, you got slut shaming, fat shaming, everything's shaming. And my thing, some things need to be shamed. Like, why are we accepting everything?
God,
everything don't need to be accepted. Like, where do we get in a world that we just accept everything? We just accept everything. Everything and anything goes. That's a whole nother slippery slope right there that we already slided down real quick. And I was in Canada and I talked to some Canadian residents, and boy, because I don't know if you guys heard Justin Trudeau, he gets booed everywhere he go. Basically, the president of Canada. The reason what I was told by several Canadian residents is because he's too liberal. He's allowing too much stuff to go on. And he's letting too much stuff slide, and he's being like too inclusive. And if you catch my drift, and I'm not talking about black people, black people, we got X'd out, we got crossed out long ago. So inclusivity ain't got nothing to do with black people no more. So that's going on in Canada.
Okay, Freddie, take it easy. It still does, but continue.
I'm just being now. I don't like it. I'm not saying I agree with it, but let's call it a spade a spade. So that's going to Canada. But back to Lizzo. fat shaming. So as you guys see the article right here, she's being sued by
What's it
three former
saying?
dancers. Huh?
What's it saying? What's this article saying?
Lizzo's being sued by three former dancers for alleged sexual harassment for creating hostile work environment. Apparently, they were alleged to and pressure into nude photo shoots, and one woman claimed to
What?
be nearly assaulted by Lizzo. Another woman claimed that she was weight shamed by Lizzo. This is filed in L.A. County Superior Court out there with you, Drea. Um,
Don't be putting me in it.
Lizzo, her name is Melissa Vivian Jefferson, and her production company, Big Girl, Big Touring, and Shirley Quigley, the captain of Lizzo's dance team. An allegation by the defendant, they came sexual and racial harassment, disability discrimination,
Wow.
assault, and false imprisonment. And so
I
basically,
really
go ahead.
go ahead. The false imprisonment is something that really stuck out to me, and I'm really curious to understand what that means. False imprisonment. I mean, was she keeping people like around that didn't want to be around or making them dance for her? Like, what does that even mean?
So
How are
the
you?
thing is false imprisonment. So I've like anytime I have lawyer friends, I like ask them 50 million, 1,001 questions about different things and different legal matters that confuse me, like a false imprisonment. A false imprisonment basically is if you keep somebody against their will somewhere. So like say for
Okay, well,
instance,
where is she keeping these people?
so one example, I think they said they was in a dance studio and she had them practicing and wouldn't let them leave. Like it was like past the time and she wouldn't let them leave.
Oh,
She's like, okay, boom, like let's go, let's keep going, let's keep going, let's keep going. And it was past the time, but they on tour, and it's like them thing. It's that thing where it's power. It's the whole thing with the Me Too, and that's the reason why I agree with David Chappelle. The Me Too movement, it went too far. It went way too far. It should have stopped. It should have been
crazy.
like, hey, y'all bring this down. Everybody calm down. We're gonna get them out. We gotta work through it. But it was allowed to run rampant. And so then now you see like this, we're having this women. This women on women. This women on women crime, essentially.
How
So
does the Me Too movement tie in with false imprisonment with Lizzo?
because fat shaming, and then now people are like, oh, I was assaulted, this happened, that happened. And so it has to do with the power dynamic. It all comes down to a power dynamic. And if people are in situations, for example, like Lizzo is essentially their employer. She's the reason why the tour is going on. So
Right.
what you'll find is women are dancing, they're on the dance team, and then they think like, okay, let me suck up to Lizzo, let me do these things that I wouldn't normally do, but let me do them because Lizzo wants it to be done, and maybe she will look favorably upon me, and it'll go to the production company. I'll get hired again and again, and I can use this to
Now
go
I'll have some
higher.
steady work.
Right, steady work. And so the thing is that a lot of times, like the thing is this is alleged. We don't know if it happened or not. But on the devil's advocate of this, what probably could have happened is these women did these things, and then she decided, like, okay, the contract was up. She didn't renew the contract. She decided to replace some of the dancers, or she was like, it was rumbling. It's like, okay, I'm doing another project and I'm not using these dancers. And these dancers thought like, oh,
Okay, I
I did all
see.
this stuff that I didn't want to do, that I just went along with, and I'm thinking may help me win, and I got nothing from it. Hell no, I'm gonna get something from this. I'm gonna sue.
You know what? That's actually a really good theory. I think you're right, because I think that does happen a lot of times where people get themselves in these situations that are precarious, and then things don't go their way. Not all the time, sometimes, and they're not getting what they want. Or people are always telling you, you got to pay your dues, you got to pay your dues, you got to pay your dues. And yeah, people get disgruntled and upset, and then they retaliate when their needs aren't met with what they thought they were going to get from all these terrible things. I mean, I think that's pretty common. Not that it's okay, but I feel like there's a lot of artists who maybe take advantage of that mindset of wanting to be a part of, wanting to be in the mix, wanting to get on. And so they'll do all these things, and people at the top know that. They full on take advantage of that and will make people do all kinds of things that just like dehumanizing people in some ways. I'm not saying this would happen with Lizzo. I'm very shocked to hear the fat shaming, because that she's essentially the poster woman for this, of people of everyone being like, oh, it's Lizzo, live your life, love, and be big and do your thing. Big girls need love too. So if the fat shaming is true, I'm like, Lizzo, Come on, girl.
But see, but the
Say
thing
it
is,
ain't so.
what we're finding is being big is not a boon. Like you have to
Yeah,
lose. You can't just be big. Like that's
Freddie,
not a
yes,
part of
you
the deal.
can. Yes,
No,
you can. If you're
no.
unhealthy, okay, I get it. Make sure
I
you're
mean,
taking care of your health. But some women are just bigger, and that's fine.
yeah, some women are bigger. I'm talking about. I mean, I'm not talking about a bigger woman. I'm talking about fat. We know what we talking. We talking about a woman that's just all out fat. Like mugs be out here, be stomach be hanging over they. Like no, like no. Because thing is, the older you get, all that weight on your joints is anybody will tell you. Any older person, 50 something and up, will tell you they carrying a bunch of extra weight. It is detrimental to their health. You can't do that. But we live in this world like just telling people, yeah, woo woo woo. But let's look at this article. The women claim people who attended the after party with Lizzo were favored and will usually get more work outside of tours. So what I said,
Okay,
people who
there
hang
you
out with
go.
Lizzo feed into it, and so they felt they needed to go. So a lot of the women they felt like, okay, I need to go to this after party even though I don't want to go to get more work. The singer planned a night out in Amsterdam's red light district, which is known for sex shows. They went to a club and
The red
they was
light district. We
encouraged.
all know about that.
I've never been, but I've heard they were encouraged to interact with the new performers. Things got out of hand, and then she
Oh,
encouraged the crew to touch the new performers and engage in other explicit sexual acts with them. And one of those acts were apparently she tried to push the girls to eat bananas out of the girls' vaginas.
stop it. Is that what the article says? I mean, look, that's a pretty specific incident. So, I mean, yes, we obviously have to be careful. It's all alleged
It's a legend.
accusations.
This you can
But
if
I
anybody out
mean,
there. You can go online. You can just search Lizzo, read all the articles. I just literally just read the banana in the vagina thing. Like apparently the dancers had bananas in their vagina, and she pushed the girls to eat the bananas out of the vagina. And one girl apparently was a virgin, and so she would kind of like
whoa,
make that
whoa,
a
whoa, whoa,
thing.
whoa. What? Somebody said they were a virgin and they put the banana in their vagina.
Apparently one of her dancers was a virgin, and Lizzo would kind of like make that a thing and make like oh virgin, make that a thing or whatever like that. Allegedly.
This is not looking good, Lizzo.
Lizzo turned attention to Miss Davis, began pressuring Miss Davis to touch the breast of one of the new women. Davis
Oh
declined, and
no.
Lizzo allegedly led a chant encouraging her to do it. Davis briefly touched the performer's breast and was mortified. Same night, Lizzo supposedly pressured a member of the security team to get on stage. His pants were pulled down, exposing his butt. Plaintiffs were aghast with how little regard Lizzo showed for bodily autonomy of her employees and those around her in the presence of many people she employed. She was out in Paris. She told them they was going to a place with live dancers performing. They would be able to learn something. And the venue was Crazy Horse, a new cabaret bar. So, apparently they didn't know it was going to be new. They were under the same pressure as before to go out with Lizzo after the performance. This time, the fact that they were attending the show where it was nudity that was prominent was hidden from them. So they were surprised when the curtain was drawn. There's a bunch of naked people.
Okay.
So yeah, they was pressured to participate in a new photo shoot as contestants on Lizzo's Watch Out for the Big Girls. It's racial
What?
harassment as well. The European leg of the tour, the dance team requested a retainer of 50% of the weekly rate during downtime. Initially, they didn't get it, and then it was counted with 25%, and then they were scolded, but they eventually agreed to the 50% retainer. But complaints alleged black dancers were treated differently moving forward. So,
Ew, Lizzo.
so her big girls, her production company consisted almost entirely of white Europeans who often often accused the black members of the dance team for being lazy, unprofessional, having bad attitudes.
Okay.
So Lizzo got all these things going on, and so here's the thing from my perspective. I'll say from my perspective, I think two things can be true. I think one thing can be like fabricated and not necessarily true, and I believe one thing can also be true. So me looking at it, I think with the fat shaming and all those types of things, I think it could possibly be fabricated and built up and blown up a little bit based off what I just mentioned earlier about how people like to hang out and think they're gonna improve their money aspects, and then when things don't happen, they get mad. But I think like this part where her management team, it consists of a whole bunch of white people, and then the black women were discriminated against. I think that definitely could be true. I've seen it a lot of times. I've seen a lot of people, the face is somebody black, but they're
Okay.
behind them. It's the whole team is white, and then somebody black come work, and you have these microaggressions. All these black women, we know the stereotypes that black women go through, and so then they got to deal with it. And then they white Europeans, so they really removed from the whole aspect of it. And really, you on tour, that can be. I can't imagine going through that on tour. 'Cause I was just on tour last year, because you're not with your friends, you're not with your family. You're all alone, and you got to find solace and companionship in the people that you work with. And if that's what you're around, like, you have no outlet. And so that, I know that can be agonizing.
Yeah, I mean, this is very layered in a way that I was really not expecting after getting more information from this article. I mean, I think it's really interesting because at this time, a lot of these crazy things go on. I can't imagine all the things that went on back in the day that nobody talked about because people were, unfortunately embarrassed, or they felt shame. They didn't want to talk about it. And what's unfortunate is, like, when people do go through these really traumatic things, a lot of times people take the blame and think it's their fault for putting themselves in the situation. And so then they don't want to say, but then you get the outlier situations that create these bigger things when things aren't necessarily true. And that's really, really unfortunate. But obviously there has to be, allegedly, I understand, but there must be some validity to some of these claims because this is pretty outrageous, and it's really specific on things. I'm just like, how no one's making this up. Why would you make this part of the story up? So it has to be true. But I think the most disappointing part, in my opinion, is if there was fat shaming, and considering what Lizzo has done for the community of women that, are larger men, the acceptance for that to be the case is actually pretty insane to me. So I really hope some of these things aren't true. But at the end of the day, where there's smoke, there's fire. So some of this has to be true, I'm assuming. And I'm interested to see what this is going to do for her career moving forward. Sometimes, right, my aunt just said because they didn't get paid. Sometimes, these things blow over, but sometimes these things have major effects on people's careers. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen.
I mean, a wise man once said, a famous man once said, they build me up and break me down and build me up again. They're like, oh, we need you back so we can kill your ass again. So thing is like in this world of especially entertainment, you'll get built up, built up, built up, and once you
Right.
get built up to a high level, you get all snatched down. Like, all right, boom, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Lizzo decided they wanted Lizzo to really preach something that she really didn't want to go along with. Like, oh, okay, bet all this gonna come out. You know what I mean? Because it's
Right.
like in
That
this in this
definitely happens.
business, man, in the entertainment business, like, if you're as famous as Lizzo has gotten, like, it's like it's almost impossible to escape with your hands. Like, you ain't do nothing to where somebody can't compound and bring together, like, ooh, look what this person did. And then it's easy for us to pile on, be like, oh, especially people who didn't like Lizzo, like me. I'm not fond of Lizzo. I'm not a Lizzo fan. I'm not
No,
fond of the
if you look back at our podcast, we are very clear that you are not a Lizzo fan. You're like,
right.
what has she done? I'm like, leave her alone.
Exactly. I'm
Let
not a
Lizzo
Lizzo fan.
live.
I don't like the message that she puts out and that she preaches about people just be big and look, and I ain't gonna lose weight, and I'm gonna be big and just and accept me because I'm big and all this other type of stuff. It's like, no, but in the same token, I do have grace, I do have compassion in this thing. And I hopefully
Oh,
this isn't true. And I don't, and I don't think it is, like I said, I don't think it is exactly what they're painting that Lizzo did. I do think
no.
there's some element in it. Like I said, I think more so the production company. I think that's probably more so true than I think that's probably more so true than the allegations against Lizzo. I do think some of the allegations against Lizzo, I think it's probably a situation to where, and also what I've learned, let me add this. This kind of goes to, I know I cut myself off, but what I've learned, being on tour, being at work with somebody does not mean they're your friend. And so we got work friends, and you
Ain't
can get
that the truth?
rocked to sleep thinking that this person is your guy, that's your homegirl, da 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 da. But at the end, but lo and behold, they somebody trying to figure out how they can leverage themselves and kick you down at the right moment so they can move up. So when you're on a tour like this,
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, none of these people are your friend. Y'all just hanging together because y'all
Yeah,
got
but
no
it's
other
so
options.
easy to think that you're with these people every single day, you're forming bonds, even with Lizzo. But yeah, I think it's really easy to kind of forget that there is a hierarchy And then at the end of the day, it's like, it's you against these other dancers, and they're going to do what they have to do to keep their job as well as you. But yeah, if you looked at your phone today for even a second, I am sure that Lizzo was popping up on your phone. So we just had to touch on the topic. And look, like I said, I hope that these allegations, at least some of them, are exaggerated. I hope, but we'll find out.
Yeah.
We
We
will
we
find out.
will definitely find out as time comes. Boom.
Yes.
Shout out to Lizzo, double salute. The girls that are going through it, prayers are with you all. Thoughts and prayers.
Yes. All right, you guys, before we move on to our next subject, just a reminder, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, and share all the things with the people.
Yes.
I'm excited to get into this next subject. We're talking about true love and ego, unconditional love and ego. There were two videos I saw this week, one from Lauren London and then one from this other influencer guy who basically said that to really love your woman specifically, that ego cannot be involved. So what did my aunt say? Come on, token of the truth. They went to extra party to get to extra work. Oh, yes, they did. Yes, they did. Thank you, Aunt Lizzie. So ego, and you guys make sure you're commenting, letting us know what you think about what we're talking about. So yeah, ego and true love. So I'm gonna play the first video that I saw. Wait, let me make sure I bring it up properly this time.
Yeah, sure. All your little DMs and stuff. Because I don't know if y'all saw Andrea post a little thirst trap, so we know her DMs probably look like
Okay, can you
her,
just be quiet? Thank
her
you.
DMs probably look like an unreleased masterpiece sneaker sample.
Anyway, you always got something to say, Freddie. Let me live
Yeah,
my life. I
DMs just
felt cute.
looking
I
ugly.
felt cute, so I posted it. Okay, thank you.
Felt cute, might
Okay.
delete later.
Anyway, so this guy talks about the ego being involved with the woman that you really love. And if you really love the woman, then your ego is not involved. So we're going to watch this clip together, guys, and let me know what you think. I'm going to go over this way.
Got a question out there for all my fellas who are husbands or are in committed relationships moving towards becoming a husband. How much do you love your woman? Now, I've always heard men say, I love my girl so much I kill for her, man. Okay. I love my girl so much I die for her, man. All right, shorty. I hear you. But look, do you love her enough to sacrifice your pride for her? Will you sacrifice your ego for her? Are you willing to let your flesh die for her and your desires? Because that's the standard. The Bible says, husbands, love your wife like Christ loved the church. Let's dive into it. How much did Christ love the church? He died for the church. And he ain't just get caught slipping by the ops or nothing like that. Like, he actually, he laid his life down. And he came here to lay his life down. That's the standard. If you're not willing to let your flesh die, your ego die, your pride die, she ain't the one, King. Leave her alone. Because that's the only way the relationship works. Okay, y'all pass this around. Share this. Do you love? Okay, listen, I got.
Okay, so what are we thinking? And then, oh wait, this was the message he had up before. I don't know if I showed.
Oh, it was two slides. That was the video.
It was two slides. Yeah. Okay. So this was the slide that he had up. Fellas, if you're not willing to let your ego die for her, she's not the one. Okay. Now, look, what I take from this, and I looked up the word ego. I looked it up.
Here we go. Yeah, I see you, Dre. Yeah, I just did it. Yeah, there you go.
What do you think? I'm just gonna comment on this, like, because you think you know what ego means. So I was like, let me go and look at it. A person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance, right? So, right now, as Freddie gets his hands ready. Now, can you let your ego die? What does this mean? Now, for me, Drea Renee, this means essentially, can you step back? Can you let things slide? Can you take all your pride and put it aside for your woman? Can you, and also, I think generally speaking, in my opinion, this means, can you soften for your woman? Do you got to posture all the time? Can you pull back and kind of let her do her thing? That's what this means to me, because he's talking about, I feel like if you are walking into these situations and you have to be right all the time, you have to do all these things. Now, I will say, I think that this is mutual. I think has to be a mutual thing. I don't think this has to be a one-sided thing. I think in any relationship, love relationships, brother, sister, mother, all the things. If there's too much ego involved in any way, it just really isn't going to work. And we all know those people who walk around posturing with their ego, and that's what leads them and messes up situations. So in terms of a relationship, I think it's really important to check your ego. And so, guys, what we talk about here, Freddie and I kind of battle with the traditional values versus the modern woman values and all these things. Sometimes to me, I hear a lot of ego. That's why I get a little with the word submit and do this and do what I say and blah, 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 blah. I know he hates that voice. I know you hate that.
Who talks like that? I would never date a woman talk like that.
You talk like that.
Oh, I talk like that. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, fellas, if you're not willing to let your ego die, and I like that, Mom. Ego edging God out. I like that. Edging God out. So keeping, to me, the common thing that you guys are working towards and kind of letting your ego take a back seat when there are really important things going on. Picking your battles is really is what this is about to me. And so if you can't do that in a relationship and you got to posture and you got to be right all the time. Now, I don't think this is something that has to be 100% of the time. I think this is, in my opinion, a sort of picking battles sort of situation, because sometimes everybody in a relationship got to be checked a little bit. That's just what it is. But if you can do this in your relationship, I think you will have longevity and it will work longer, because when you see somebody is loving you unconditionally and coming from such a pure place, that to me is long lasting. So that's what I'm taking from this. But let's hear what Freddie B has to say.
All right. So here's the thing, man. This statement is stupid.
Oh my God, Freddie. I knew he was going to pop out the gate with it.
You misusing your bill.
I use it differently. Okay.
I see. This statement is stupid because, fellas, if you're not willing to let your ego die for her, she's not the one.
I knew it.
Ego, what you said, the definition of ego is a person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance. So if you take the definition and you plug it in, what he's saying is, fellas, if you're not willing to let your self-esteem and self-importance die for her, she's not the one. Make it make sense to me.
Okay, what? Freddie, focus on the self-importance part, not the
what
so much. The self-esteem. You do want your man to have self-esteem. You do want that.
So that's one. That's why that's stupid, because a woman is not even going to give a man the time of day if he don't have a good self-esteem or a good sense of self-importance. You're not getting the time of day from any quality woman if your self-esteem is low and your self-importance is low. It's not happening. A woman will look right past you like, oops, sorry. Boom. It's done. So now let's move on to what I've heard. You said it. A lot of people have said it. A lot of people have added the word pride in. They've said ego and your pride. What is pride? Let's define pride. Pride is consciousness of one's own dignity. Consciousness of one's own dignity. What does dignity mean, you ask? Dignity is the state or quality of being worthy of honor or respect. So your pride is consciousness of one's own quality of being worthy of honor and respect. Pride and ego are two good quality things, but what happens is we as a public have gotten in this thing of we just redefine words to what we think they should mean. Like, for example, for example, I just read earlier, another big one that people just redefine and just made a new term is toxic masculinity. People have redefined masculinity. Toxic masculinity is stupid because
it's a real
masculinity is the act of providing and protecting who you are in charge of. Make sure that they're protected and they're safe and they're provided for. They have all the things that they need.
That means masculinity.
That's masculinity. Yes. Okay. So how can you make that toxic? So the thing is people subscribe toxic masculinity to things that were never masculine. They're nowhere near masculine. They just subscribe toxic masculinity just to bad behavior. That's like me saying
Andrew Tate. That is what people are talking about.
No.
Yes.
No.
1,000%. You look up toxic masculinity, you should probably see Andrew Tate's face.
No, people subscribe that because he has his base and what he's talking about is masculinity.
Garbage.
But then you go to like him adding his own ideologies and clickbait and to make money and do all and entertainment value. Then people add that and then add that to masculinity. It's like, no, people have to learn how to eat the meat, spit out the bone, get the message, keep it moving, and not get caught up into people's ideologies. We all have ideologies, but that shouldn't taint the message that what somebody's saying.
How is it not going to taint the message with somebody as polarizing as Andrew Tate? That's like a completely impossible. And that's what he wants, right? He wants me to be getting upset on my podcast, calling his name out. It's like mission accomplished. I have a strong feeling about him. Yeah, I do. So whatever.
But the thing is, I can watch him and get the message, but not get caught up in his ideology. Like that's where you get to. That's where you get to adults being actually an adult, being able to think for yourself. The thing is, you can listen to people, understand. Like none of us are perfect. It may be people watch this, love Drea, love Lady Drea Renee, love what she says, but don't get caught up in the thing of thinking that y'all gonna agree every single time. She's going to. You listen to her long enough, she's going to say something that you disagree with, but the fact that she said that don't mean that you like, oh, Drea Renee, oh, she or this, she that, no. She's still the same person. It's all right. You may like me. You listen to me. You like me. Yada, yada, yada. If you listen to me long enough, I may say something that does not align.
Listen to him for about 5 minutes and you'll find something.
Hey, there you go. But at the end of the day, it's okay. That does not mean I'm the enemy or I'm phobic or I'm shaming you or anything like that. I'm just saying, and if you disagree, then you can say the facts. You can bring your facts to the table and say, hey, I disagree because of this, and this, not because I feel like. Leave the feelings alone. Tell me I disagree because of da 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 da. But we as people, we live in such a polarizing world now with social media that now somebody could love you and then you be like, this, oh, I don't like her no more. It's like, what? You just love this person and was a big fan of them all these years, and they said this one thing, and now you want to get them out of here and cancel them. That make sense to me. It makes no sense.
Okay, I do agree with you about people repackaging words. I read this article.
Yeah, that statement was stupid. That post was stupid.
Okay, I get what essentially the post is trying to say with breaking it down. And to me, unconditional love, I think you have to go into a relationship with some sort of element of compromise. And how I read that statement is if you're posturing all the time, you got to be right all the time, you making all the decisions and kind of putting your partner in the background. I mean, that's not going to speak to unconditional love, in my opinion, and it's not going to fare well for everybody to feel seen and heard in a relationship. So that's how I take it as, letting your ego die. Yes, I get it. Nobody wants a man who doesn't have self-esteem of some sort or feels, I don't know about the self-importance part. I think there's levels to that. There's levels to that. There's arrogance, which I'm not really interested in, I'm just not, like Andrew Tate. It's too much, but it's too much, Freddie. It's too much. I cannot do it. But, I think you do have to let your ego die on both sides, though.
No. Here's the thing.
I do.
No, the thing is your ego don't have to die. Like it's all these, like it's people be trying to say all these different things and be trying to sound profound and all these types of things, and it end up sounding dumb. Like please play that other clip. We're gonna get to it with Lauren London. She said all that. Sounded dumb as hell. I looked in the comments. Somebody said exactly what I said. Thing is that here's the thing with this clip, and then we're gonna play the Lauren London. Is that your ego don't have to go nowhere. Your pride don't have to go anywhere. It's just that your pride shouldn't be oversized to where it overshadows you. That is bigger than you. The thing is that like whatever you do, you should be able to back up. And with that, dating somebody, getting with somebody, like I've said before, if you get married to somebody, you have to understand that you're not number one. When I get married, I'm not number one no more. I'm not living my life for me. I'm living my life for her. I'm not the number one priority. So it's the same thing with her. She's not the number one priority. I am. She lives for me. Like that's what it is. But people get into relationships and furthermore marriages, and they don't know how to balance different things. And they get with somebody, and they feel like I gotta take care of me. And this person feel like, well, I gotta take care of me. And it's a fight. Like, I gotta look out for me. And how do you have a relationship with both people thinking like I gotta look out for me? If you got that, it's doomed.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta look out for the other person. You gotta pour into their cup. You gotta figure out each and every day, how can I pour into this other person's cup?
And so I agree with you, and that's essentially what I think that he's saying.
No, he's not saying that. He's trying to be cute, talking about some ego. Like, no, my ego ain't gonna die. I'm me. I'm Freddie B. I'm prime time. I'm nice with it. I'm that guy.
God, this Sagittarius energy is just.
It just is what it is. But that don't take away from me making sure my woman feels the same way about her.
Yeah, but I think you can go out into the world, Freddie, and do all that and be like peacocking and all on Freddie B, la la la, Freddie B TV. But then when you get home, your wife, yes, it's pour into we, and that is it. Because I get what you're saying. Yeah, I'm going to be Drea 100%. But right, then there's a different version that shows up at home, and that's fine.
But that got to be a mindset. Like, you got to really buy. You got to sell out.
Ego, though, it does.
You gotta sell out and buy into that. And going into when you meet somebody, this prior to even meeting somebody and dating, that got to be your mindset. Like, I'm meeting this person to make them my number one. And then when you go into it with that mindset, then your vetting process is more stringent. Like, you're vetting this person. Like, are they worth me pouring into their cup nonstop?
I will agree with that. Agree, Belle. Sometimes I have a disagree, Belle, when you get on my nerves, which is often.
I feel you.
All right, let's play the Lauren London clip. Let me see. Hold on. Oh God, here we go. Okay, what do I do? Hold on, guys. It takes me a minute.
Yeah, you know how she is with this technology. But yeah, wait till y'all see this Lauren London clip. She sent it to me. It's kind of along the lines of ego, but Lauren London said a bunch of nothing.
That's not a spiritual relationship.
That is not
spiritual
true.
Relationship is
okay. Wait, let me do it again. Okay.
Watch this. Like, she looked like she was spitting, but then when you really listen, you're like, hold on, wait, what is she talking about? But like, the thing is a lot of people just agreeing with her because she was the baby mama to Nipsey Hussle, and Nipsey Hussle is respected, and so by proximity, people just go like, and then he died tragically, so by proximity, people are just gonna be like, yeah, Lauren.
We're not them and letting them be free. We think we're supposed to be together forever, and that's not a spiritual relationship. Spiritual relationship is without the ego. It is we are together. I bring you up, inspire you, you inspire me. Now, if there ever comes a point where I'm not inspired anymore and that now I'm in my ego, now I feel I need to possess you. Now I feel the need to control you and you're mine. I'm in my ego. And that's not love. There's love in there, but now I'm operating more in my ego and not in my pure love. I have another perspective on relationships. I think a lot of them are ego driven and they're not pure. A lot of times we are in our ego that we are in possession of another person. We're not.
I agree.
What did she say that was so profound?
She talks about ownership in a relationship. Why are you looking at Lauren like that? Why are you looking at Lauren like that?
Look, I love me some Nunu. I saw at ATL, love Nunu, love Nipsey, love what Nipsey stood for. Love it all. He didn't marry her, but that's something else.
Oh, did he not marry Lauren? I thought he did.
He knocked up before they got. I don't know if they got married, but I know he definitely knocked up before they got married.
Okay, well,
so there's that. But outside of that, love the people. That clip right there, no, she gets an F.
No, she was amazing in that clip and talking about the ego being involved in relationships based on the last thing that we just showed you guys. I think what she said is right. Feeling like you own someone, like you got to control someone. I agree with her. And that is
what they got to do with ego. There's nothing to do with somebody's ego.
I disagree, Freddie.
We just define ego. A person's sense of self-esteem and self-importance.
Self-importance. That could be included in self-importance. I'm self-important. I think I'm all that and I'm controlling you. It does.
Wait, hold on, wait. How did that get to me owning you?
Because if you have too much ego, Freddie, in a relationship, that is never going to be good with your partner. That is never going to be good. Tell me how that could work. If you walking around with your ego.
If you have an inflated sense of ego, that's not good, period.
Exactly. That's
And
what
so,
she's
but here's the thing: we talking about inflated sense of ego. And so, yes, you are correct in the focus of the self-importance part. And so the thing is that going back to what I said, some people have big ego. Like, for example, give you a great example. Deion Sanders, when he played football, his ego was huge. Huge.
Okay.
But he was correct. And nothing wrong with that.
Well, he could show up for it. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Deion Sanders is arguably the best football player to ever live. You can ask anybody. You can ask
Deion Sanders is the best football player that ever lived. I don't feel like I hear people say that very often.
What? It's between Deion, Lawrence Taylor.
Let me know.
Deion, Lawrence Taylor. Now you got Aaron Donald, Tom Brady. Those are people that are largely considered, like, people consider Tom Brady the GOAT because thing is, in football, quarterback is an outsized value position. And then Tom Brady, he got a lot of rings, so on and so forth. But Deion arguably is always in the talks of being the best football player ever because when Deion played, like Deion is like 10th in interceptions. But the reason why is it was seasons where he played, people didn't throw to his side. You just did not throw to his side. Quarterbacks would not throw to his side. He got one whole half of the field shut down. If you threw it to his side, he picked it off, he's gone to the house. And then he had a game where he went back to Atlanta playing with the 49ers, picked the pass off, took it to the house, 100 yards, talk mess to the whole sideline.
You guys.
And then before Deion came, Deion said, I built this house. This wouldn't be nothing without me. Then proceeded to get 2 touchdowns on defense. He played like the boy was bad. He played a baseball game and a football game in one day. He got rings.
I remember that. Okay, fine. I get it.
Like
Freddie.
So the thing is he had a big ego, but it wasn't an inflated ego. And so that's what I'm saying. Inflated ego means your ego is larger than who you are. Like what you look. And so the thing is,
because he could back it up, it wasn't inflated.
Right. Here's the thing. Here's the thing with men. Men are judged on what you do. Men are judged on what's your track record. Like, show me what you've done. Like you can what have you done? What have you accomplished? That's how men are judged. So your ego, the reason why ego is always attributed to men, because tangibly we can measure an ego with the man, and we can actually tangibly see if that man has an inflated ego or a deflated ego or a correct ego. That's the reason why it's attributed, because women have egos too. We know this.
Yeah, there's a lot of ego in women. We all know that.
Right.
Freddie, if anybody in a relationship is coming up with 2 people, tons of ego, the relationship's not going to work. It's just not going to work.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. What I'm saying, like women have big egos just as big as men. Just big as men. It's not like it's 1 for 1, like huge. But women aren't judged off what you produce. Women aren't judged off that. Women are judged off who they are. That's way more amoebic on like how do you really measure that? How you really measure what a woman is? You know what I mean? It's just like people go around her.
People look at people's accolades and tracks.
Women are judged off what they produce. It's not like you just go to a woman like, show me what you produce. Okay, you're a good woman. No.
Are you speaking in terms of a relationship?
I'm talking about generally speaking.
No, in a relationship, maybe okay. Generally speaking, that's not true, Freddie. Maybe back in the day, but that's not true anymore. People are judged off what they do.
No.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So you mean to tell me women are judged the same as men on what they produce?
I'm saying women are judged differently than they were back in the day. I'm not
comparing to back in the day.
I am comparing back in the day because you're saying it
so,
like it's
so
not
you just
hijacked
my whole argument and just made it what you want to make it.
Pretty much, yes.
Okay, there we go. Okay, makes sense. So that's why. Welcome to the show, guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and share so you can see the assaults and the battery that she does.
What? Anyway.
Yes. So guys, look, so ego, like I said, there can be inflated ego, but it's commensurate to who you are. If it's inflated, then there's a problem. If you're a man and you make $40K a year and you know you just scuffling by, you make a little bit less than average amount, and that's all you got to show for your life, and you 50 years old, like you gotta humble yourself. Your ego shouldn't be big. You shouldn't be walking around.
I've seen it where the egos are huge when people
but it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. You gotta let your woman like be her. Like what you gotta let your woman like
Freddie
pretty much do what she want to do.
If you got $1 million in the bank, then your woman got to do what you say.
I didn't wait. You keep going back to obedience, do what I say and jump.
But
Watch
you
out,
literally just said,
run.
Freddie, if you got
No,
40K in the
no.
bank,
What I'm saying is, what I'm saying, if you're a man and you don't have any production, you can't require a lot from a woman. Like if you're looking for a woman, you're looking to date a woman, you don't have much to require. Like you can't be out here like, I don't want a woman who do this, I don't want a woman who do that, I don't want a woman who wear this, I don't want no big woman, I don't want no small woman, I don't want, like, Nick, shut up. Just get you a woman, Chief. Just get you a woman and go home.
We're talking about limited options. All right.
Yes, get you a woman and go home. Nobody cares about what type of woman you require because you don't have any production to say what type of woman you want. Now, when you have production and you've done things, then you can start your standard. Like, no, I don't want a woman over 170. I don't want this. I don't want that. I don't want that.
You got the coin to be a little more discerning. Sure.
Yeah, like if a guy's a millionaire, he can say to the T what type of woman he want, and it's like, this man has started a company. He's this, he's that. I mean,
hey, look, it's true. And then you know what? What comes with that? There's a natural confidence that comes with that. There's a natural self-esteem that comes with that. That's looking at, your funds and being like, hey, I can choose what I want and what I don't want. But yeah, if you got 40K a year, but to be fair, depending on where you live, I mean, living in LA, that's probably not going to get you much. Or
living in LA, man, you probably might live on Skid Row.
With 40K a year, it's going to be a little tough. But yeah, okay. My point in this slide is I think that I took it as you need a little bit of softness because we talk a lot about alpha male and, woman submitting to your man and all these things on this podcast. And I'm always going to be, on the side of balance in a relationship and things being done together. Although Freddie's like, your man's got to lead. And he's got to do all these things.
See,
whatever. But
I'm in favor of balance. But balance based on roles.
Okay, right. And I'm more balanced based on how things unfold organically. And I'm always going to be that way. Now, listen, I will say there are some things that have shifted. I'm like, oh, okay, I can see that. There are a couple little nuggets. But overall, listen, I'm still Drea and I'm always going to be Drea. So whoever's on my team, it is what it is. It is what it is.
So, your aunt, she said this definitely gonna be a topic of finances in relationship, hypergamy. We definitely should get into this.
What?
She said, we are judged of what we can bring to the table to big banks. So basically saying like women are judged off the financial means that they bring to the table. We definitely should do a show about this.
Okay, that'll be our next show. Aunt Lisa, you got to come up with us. But before we run out of time, guys, I want to go on to our next topic, which is a little juicy. This is juicy.
Offset.
I love Offset. I'm obsessed with Offset. I love him. The music. I love the music. Now listen, outside of the music, I don't know. He's fine. I love Cardi B. Go Cardi. Anyway, I don't want to get any microphones thrown at my head. If you guys saw that in the news recently. But anyway, so Offset was on the Breakfast Club and
no. He was on Yee. He was on Angela Yee.
Oh, Angela Yee. Okay, but
Way Up, I think.
Club?
No, she's not.
Oh my God.
She got her own show after the Breakfast Club. It's called Way Up.
She was on the. Okay, thank you. I'm like, I'm not crazy. She wasn't.
No, you're not.
All right, that's enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she asks Offset about cheating. And I sent it to Freddie and I thought it'd be interesting to discuss it. So I'm going to play the clip for you guys. 1 second. All right.
What would for yourself?
I can't personally speak on why men cheat, but like
for you,
like when I did do that, like I was in a different space. I was young. I had just got married. I'm getting a lot of money. Mm-hmm. Really was communication. We got married and then our communication was good, but it wasn't like I wasn't saying my wants and needs and and vice versa. Mm-hmm. So it was like sometimes you feel like you'll bump heads when you're not communicating because it's like it's hidden gems. We both in the front center stage. We both all our business is always public. The communication, what it was, I was young. I was on different shit. Like I was on lean and shit too. Like I already done talked about that in my variety magazine shit. Like I was on lean. I was making bad decisions, not really realizing it's affecting my family instead of just me thinking about my own. Like, and And so, but then when I grow past that, all my growth, why you think she loved me how she loved me? Like my growth, I done showed like I'm a real one. Like I'm not gonna do this. I ain't gonna play with you. I ain't gonna keep playing with you. And then because it's affecting you and it's heartbreaking, it's wrong. You know what I'm saying? But the people are still popping out like, oh, if anybody say anything, it's that.
Now you think you could cheat?
Wow. Okay. Freddie?
So, I think what we was planning to have a show about cheating, like all about like cheating and those dynamics.
This is sort of maybe a little nugget before.
Okay. So
that show.
It's a comment that was in on that post. A bunch of comments, but there's one comment that was
a lot of comments.
There was a lot of comments, yeah. But this comment was up near the most popular comments. It got a lot of likes. And it was a woman. She said, cheating is a choice. You choose to cheat. You choose to exercise your options. I agree there.
Okay, great.
Then she went on to say, but women and men cheat for two different reasons. Two different reasons why a woman to cheat and a man to cheat, or a woman to exercise her options and a man to exercise his options. Two different reasons. Women, hold on, wait, pull it up. I sent it to your DM. You got it?
Oh, the quote? Oh, wait, let me see.
Hold on, wait, where is it at? I forgot where.
I have it.
You got it? Because I don't want to misquote it. Like she said this, I was like, I 100% agree, guys. Make sure you like, comment, and share.
This one?
Yes, cheating is a choice. Both men and women cheat. I believe women need a reason. Women need a reason, and men simply need a time and the place. That is very true. Women need a reason. A woman can have a time and a place to cheat and still won't cheat. But once you give her a reason in her mind to cheat, to exercise her options, then she will. And then because it's more so feelings based. It's how a woman feels because you guys are feeling led. Men are logically led. So that's why it goes to time and place.
Led.
A man could be somewhere with a bad chick and somewhere she right there and she like, hey, put it in my mouth. And he like, I can literally just put it in my mouth, pop one off real quick. I'm gonna do it real quick. Ain't nobody gonna know. Boom, boom. But then he don't know there's a camera in the corner, and then you offset, and then somebody posted online of you getting topped off by this woman that ain't Cardi B. Boom.
And then you got a microphone at your head.
Right. And so that's the difference. Like men, it's not like we're in our feeling like, oh, I love her. She just made me da 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 da. It's just like I have this opportunity, pop one off. I can pop it off real quick.
My mom said, Freddie, have you done that with a bunch of questions?
I have not Drea's mama.
Oh my God.
I have not Drea's mamas. But you can see we got two people that agree with that. But like I said, like men don't and the thing is when you find out a man exercise options, it's not that he don't love you or anything like that. It's just because you see how many likes it's got, 92 of them things. And that's when I saw it. It got more now.
People really came for Offset though, because look, the thing is, we have to understand we're talking about a celebrity, we're talking about a rapper, we're talking about a guy who's getting vagina thrown at him left and right. Now, cheating is a choice. Now, in my opinion, and this could be taken tons of ways, I think as a woman, when you make a choice to date someone that's in the public eye, that's an athlete, that's a rapper, that's an actor on set with these people for 6 months. I'm not saying that you have to be okay with it, but I think there has to be a space for being realistic. You know what I mean? I think, if you are thinking that you're dating the top athlete in the world, you're dating the top rapper, actor, whatever in the world, and this could go the same for women too, but I do agree women need a reason. We're more feelings based for sure. Although there are some women out there.
There you go. I mean, but there is some women.
There are.
Yes, we know there are some women out here that's
I gotta speak to those women too. I gotta speak
on some other stuff, but
whatever, they exist. Okay, thank you.
That's fine. Generally speaking, though.
Anyway, but I think you do. I think you have to be realistic about the choice that you are making to a person in this position, especially in the entertainment industry, because people came for him. They were like, "Oh, all you do is cheat." And So I think, you make a choice to date this man, you have to take all the things, because I don't even think it matters. I think as they get older, maybe slow down, but I just think they're just going to probably do it. But I think, and what I think is also interesting is that a lot of these celebrities will keep saying that they've stopped, but like most of them do not. Most of them do not. So cheating is a choice, though. Cheating is a choice, and I think at the end of the day, you probably have to just make peace with your choice to date someone in this arena. But he said he had a lot of options. He was young. I mean, I don't know many men. I'd say 98% are probably gonna, as Freddie loves to say, get their domes polished.
I mean, like I say this all the time, man. As a woman, you dating a guy in that realm, you gotta look at y'all relationship. Like, how does he treat you? What does he do for you? Like, you can't. I don't think you can look at like all this other stuff. You gotta look at when it comes to you. Like, is he on top of all his duties as it pertains to you? Are you good? Are you tight? Are you being protected, provided for? Are you good? If you're good, then like I would never advocate for a dude just to be busting down the whole world, because then you don't embarrass your woman, because you start embarrassing your woman, then you essentially embarrass yourself. Then you start to embarrass yourself, and embarrassing yourself, then that's gonna take away from what you're trying to do. But you know what I mean? I think like, little something here and there, I don't think you can really, like, I'm leaving, I'm divorcing, I'm taking the kids and leaving.
But the
Like,
thing is,
that's
you
foolish.
can do that. You can do that. But the thing is, when you do that, you obviously have to look at, what comes with that. And then you maybe should not date somebody. Now, look, again, because I always speak to the outlier situations, because they do exist, Freddie. They do. They exist.
Wow.
There are people in the industry that do not do this. But I would say, generally speaking, somebody that's high profile like that has a lot of women coming at them. It's probably just not going to fare over well. And I think that's what happened with Offset. And then you add drugs into it, and it's like, forget it.
Yeah. I mean, but then like the thing is all these women be yelling, be like, "Oh, Cardi B need to leave," and da da da. Okay, Cardi B leave, Offset. Then who next? Who's she gonna get with?
Well,
Like,
she can date. Okay, she's in a different position though. They're both celebrities. That's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah. I get it. They're both celebrities. I'm saying, like, so that's Cardi B, who she is. Even the average woman, I'm like, what? Like people are acting like men. Because the thing is a woman don't want a man with no means. Let's just call it what it is. Like, if a woman have this kind of leaks into what your aunt said and what what we'll talk about later. But if a woman has a certain level of means, she don't want a man that's below that.
Ideally not. No.
She don't want it. Now, vice versa, a man can have all these means up here, and he will routinely go down there and get the woman who don't got no means. So you have that. So as a woman, if that's the case, you guys are naturally hypergamous, and you are with a guy who makes millions of dollars. Why do people think it's just a big pool of good-looking men that make millions of dollars out here?
That pool is not large. That is correct.
That pool is minuscule. It may not even be no water in that pool. It's like just the ground is a little wet. The ground is a little moist. It ain't even like water there. It's just like, oh, water was here, and you got to press on the dirt to get some water to come up and get some out, and it's gonna be kind of dirty. Like, what are y'all thinking? Like must like Beyonce need to lead Jay-Z, Cardi B need to lead Offset. Like, are y'all smoking dope?
But the thing is, I think they're speaking to these women specifically because they could, and everybody was fine. But you're right. You do want to date certain people in your bracket. But although, look at Nicki Minaj. Didn't she date below? I think she did.
Yeah, but you know how long she known him?
How long?
She know him before she was big.
Okay, well then there you go. Just saying, you can figure it out for yourself if you like. And she's serious.
That's something different. Like, you talking about a chick who got with a guy who she knew before she had money, and he had more money than her. So
I know,
that's when
but
they met.
now she doesn't. So she's fine, and he's probably not going to do anything on her. Because look, it's all about mindset, right? Like, a lot of people know that when you're dating men in these realms, there are things that are going to happen, and a lot of people have this "don't ask, don't tell" policy, and people cannot do that, and they're like, no. And so then you end up maybe in a Nicki Minaj situation. You go date somebody that you know a long time ago, and maybe it's a little bit more balanced with regards to that. But nobody wants to be embarrassed and nobody wants to just know that they're being cheated on all the time. Nobody wants.
And that's what I'm saying. Like I mean, I definitely think that it should be a situation to where, as a woman, you let them know, like, don't bring no BS to the house. Just make sure you don't bring no BS to this house. Nothing need to come to this house. Like, I don't want you to. I mean, I'm not saying as a woman you advocate for him to go out. You can let him know, like, hey, look, I would rather you not, but you know, I get that this, that, and the third. Just make sure you don't bring no BS to the house. Make sure no chicks don't show up, no diseases don't show up, and no kids don't show up.
Now, see, that's when you are speaking on a more open level of not being deceived. That's a different conversation. But my aunt just said when kids are involved, most women humble themselves, and that's a whole other thing. That's a whole other thing.
What does that mean? When kids? What does that mean?
When you have kids with somebody, I think it's a lot harder to be like, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? That changes things. What? Oh God.
What?
What do you think it makes it easier to leave?
Oh my God. Women are financially incentivized to leave their husband when they have kids.
Like someone I know. Oh,
I'm not, like, I don't even have children. I've never had children. I've never been divorced. I'm not going through it at all. But
there are women who want to keep their families together.
This is coming from the mouths of, like I said, my lawyer friends. Like, I got a friend who does divorce law, and she has said women are financially incentivized to leave their husbands and be single moms.
Because of the alimony.
Like, matter of fact, y'all might not have seen this in the news just recently. DeSantis just passed a law in Florida where women can only get alimony for half their life. I think for half the term. Before, they can get alimony for forever. You divorce your husband, you get alimony for forever.
I wonder if it goes back. Like, if you got the alimony for forever and the laws changed, does that change your alimony?
No, it just stops. Like, so if you're past the half point, then it just stops now. Now you've done paying alimony. But the thing is, that's only in Florida. You go to states like California. Oh, California, you oh my God, you know it. You are getting crucified because one half. They just cut, California just say, Nick, just cut this in half. We ain't dealing with y'all. Cut it all in half. Give half to her. Just give it to her, and she'll get the kids, and she'll get alimony, and she'll get child support for each kid. And the child support ain't what a finite amount to what they need. It's a percentage of what you make, and then it's based off. And then the dude got to pay for her lawyer.
Okay, well, I think my aunt was just speaking more to keeping families together because there are.
And look,
like,
I'm with it.
And
I'm with your aunt saying that, but that's not the case though.
Well, depending on your age, kind of going back out there and dating again, like What did she say? My aunt.
Now she hit the nail on the head here. Leave your man husband, vice versa. You give the next man, they cheat too. Jump around person ain't worth it. That makes no sense. But people nowadays, like, oh, you chill, you girl, don't take that. But thing is, the reason why people say that, misery loves company. If you notice, if you got friends that are married, then I tell you, leave him, get out, girl. You don't need that. You got a whole bunch of single homegirls telling you leave so they can have another kicking friend because they was kicking it, and now you married and they can't kick it. Now you not married. Yes, this divorce party. Let's get on these dicks. Tornado on these D's. Tornado on these D's. Tornado.
It's not like that. It's more of like, you deserve better. You can find yourself another guy. Nobody's talking about get out in the streets and act like a hoe.
Man, what? I don't know what you. I done seen you ain't seen these videos of these divorce parties.
Freddie, okay, yeah, there might be some encouragement of just try some new things for a minute, but the end goal isn't just to be with a bunch of dudes. Come on, Freddie, be real.
I've literally had conversations with. I remember I said, I do a little life coaching, and so I've had conversations with two young ladies that were married, got divorced. Both of them told me how their friends was like, "Girl, you need to get out and just meet men and have sex with men."
Well, maybe if they've been cooped up for Lord knows how long, I don't know, get out there and experience a little bit.
And then both the women, like, that's what they told me. And I was thinking about doing it. And I'm telling them, like, no, that ain't what I can look at them in their face and like, no, don't do that. That's gonna mess your emotions up even more. Like, you just coming out of divorce. You was married with, like, both these women were married like 10 years, and one had a baby, one had two. And it's like, no, don't do that. Your friends tell you do that. Your friends tell you that because they ain't got to deal with the repercussions. You got to deal with it. Like who
All
built like that? Who built to get out of a marriage? What woman built to get out of marriage and then go let just share her vagina with a bunch of men?
Well, no. I mean, we talked about it last week. You put 10 men, 10 women. I agree with that. No, I'm not trying to do all that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like misery loves company, guys. That's all I'm saying.
Oh God. This has been good though. This has been juicy. But I think, Freddie, next week we need to make the podcast. We need to focus on the cheating. It'll be good, guys, because Freddie has some interesting thoughts about cheating, right, Freddie B?
Hey man, yeah. Like I said, man, exercising options is part of the deal.
All right, you guys, we'll be back next week, Tuesday, 6 p.m., maybe 6:05. We'll see.
9 Eastern. We'll be at 9 Eastern. We're probably gonna be late. If we are late, 5 minutes late, it's because of this one, guys.
Love you guys. We'll see you next time.
Peace, likes, comment, share, guys. Follow us, The Token of the Truth. Drea Mama, love you too. We out.